Welcome to this presentation about the high school dual credit offerings at SAIT. In this session, you will learn what dual credit is and how the program works, considerations before taking a dual credit option, and the next steps to apply and register. At SAIT, we have partnered with several school jurisdictions to offer dual credit programming to high school students. Some of our partners include the Calgary Board of Education, the Calgary Catholic School Board, Rocky View Schools, Palliser Regional School Division, and High Prairie School Division, to name a few. Before applying to a dual credit option, it is important to have an understanding of what dual credit is. Students who participate in dual credit programs earn credits at both the high school level and the post-secondary level. Depending on the option in which students are enrolled, they may earn either individual course credits or a full SAIT credential. There are many reasons why a high school student may choose to participate in a dual credit offering. Participating in dual credit programs allows students to explore post-secondary program options while they are still in high school. Students are also able to learn about different career paths based on their dual credit program, and to then decide if that is a career path that they hope to continue on post-high school. These programs are also a good opportunity for students to find out what they may not like in terms of a course or program, and they can then make the decision to pursue another career or program pathway post-high school. Dual credit programs also help students to get a head start on employment opportunities. Several of our past dual credit pharmacy assistant program participants have gone on to work in a pharmacy, while many dual credit trade students find employment upon completion of their technical training. Taking the step from high school to post-secondary learning can sometimes be overwhelming or a big adjustment for some students. Participating in dual credit programs can help ease the transition from high school to post-secondary. Students are still supported by their teachers and off-campus coordinators within the high school, while also receiving support from their SAIT instructor. Students can get a feel for what learning is like at the post-secondary level, and through the dual credit programs, help to build their own confidence and see their potential in their learning. The delivery models of the dual credit options at SAIT vary by offering. In some cases, the dual credit option will be delivered face-to-face on campus at SAIT's main campus, or will be blended, with theory being delivered online and hands-on shop or lab work being completed on campus. This is the primary delivery model for the trades-based dual credit programs and the pharmacy assistant certificate, as there are shop and lab components to these dual credit offerings. Other dual credit options will be delivered strictly online. For program-specific delivery models, please speak with your school board contact. Regardless of delivery model, dual credit offerings are cohort-based, and cohorts are comprised of high school students only. Though high school students are not mixed with adult learners, dual credit learners may be in a dual credit offering with other high school students from other high schools or from other school boards. It is also important to note that for the dual credit offerings, the costs associated with tuition and other program costs are covered through agreements between SAIT and the school board partner. This means that you as a high school student are able to earn post-secondary credit and participate in a dual credit offering at little to no direct cost to you or your family. In some cases, there may be out-of-pocket costs for personal protective equipment, such as steel-toed boots for the trades programs, or there may be additional learning materials. These types of costs vary by program, so be sure to connect with your school board contact for additional details. All of the SAIT dual credit offerings are taught by SAIT instructors, with close supervision and involvement from school board partner teachers. High school learners in these programs are held to the same academic expectations as for adult learners, and the course content is to the same academic rigor as what is delivered for adult learners. Though the schedules for dual credit offerings have been adapted for high school learners so that they are able to work within a student's usual daily timetable, extra time has been added to the offering in order to give all high school students additional time to learn and understand program content. For dual credit offerings where there are prerequisites, for the purposes of the dual credit programs, these prerequisites are treated as co-requisites. This means that high school students don't necessarily need to have completed a prerequisite course prior to participating in a dual credit offering. However, high school students do need to ensure that they are on track to complete any of the required prerequisites prior to SAIT releasing their program credential. For students in a dual credit credential program, such as the Pharmacy Assistant Certificate, students will need to demonstrate, through the submission of transcripts, that they have completed such prerequisites before SAIT will release their program credential. For the high school dual credit offerings, high school learners are enrolled and registered as SAIT students. This means that high school dual credit students will receive a SAIT ID number and a SAIT transcript, both of which are permanent. This is an important point to note for students considering participating in a dual credit offering, since whatever grade is achieved in their SAIT classes will be reflected on the student's permanent post-secondary transcript with SAIT. It is also important to note that post-high school, if a student is applying to post-secondary institutions, they will need to declare on their application that they have a post-secondary transcript, and they may need to submit this transcript as part of their application. Dual credit students are also required to understand and adhere to SAIT's codes of conduct, both for academic and non-academic behaviors. Expectations will be outlined during the various dual credit student orientations prior to the students beginning their dual credit option. It is also important to note that if a dual credit student determines that a dual credit option is not the right fit for them, they will need to formally withdraw from their dual credit option if they have already been registered and their program has started. The formal withdrawal form can be provided to students from their school board contact. Once withdrawn from a dual credit option, a grade letter of W will appear on the student's SAIT transcript to indicate that they withdrew from the dual credit option. It is also important to note that if a student does not successfully complete the SAIT courses related to the dual credit option, there is no partial credit given on the SAIT side. However, depending on the dual credit option, students may still be eligible to earn some of the associated CTS credits at the high school level for that option. As previously mentioned, the expectations for the dual credit students are the same as for other SAIT learners. Students are expected to be aware of assignment due dates or dates for quizzes or exams. Students are expected to keep up with their studying and homework and to participate in group projects where applicable. If students do have questions or concerns, we encourage them to reach out to their SAIT instructor and school board contact. We encourage students to communicate frequently with their SAIT instructor and school board contact throughout the duration of their dual credit program and to reach out early if they are struggling or need additional support. Finally, it is important to be aware of the overall schedule for the dual credit offerings at SAIT. While we have worked to incorporate the timing of the dual credit options into the student's regular daily timetable, in order to ensure enough time to cover all material, dual credit students adhere to SAIT's school schedule. This means at times there may be SAIT class for the dual credit students during a non-instructional day during their high school semester. Though there are exceptions for time off, such as for Teachers' Convention in February or during spring break, a good rule of thumb is that if SAIT is open, the dual credit students are expected to be available to participate in their dual credit class. Now let us discuss the considerations for students who may be thinking about participating in a dual credit option. An important consideration is your own interest in the program. What has attracted you to this program? What do you hope to do once you have completed your dual credit option? Do you think this dual credit option will help you in your future program or potential career path? The answers to these questions will be unique to each individual student. Another important consideration is your own schedule. Do you have a lot of extracurricular activities or hobbies? Are you planning to work while participating in the dual credit program? What does your high school course load look like? Dual credit can be a large time commitment, and it is post-secondary level coursework, so it is important to consider what else you are involved in to determine if you will have the time needed to fully participate in and complete your dual credit program. The time commitment needed to complete the dual credit options will differ by offering. The time commitment for one course offered over one semester is different than a dual credit program requiring several courses and that is offered over a full year. We know that high school learners are fully capable of successfully completing these programs, but students do need to be willing to put in the time and effort to do so. In addition to the time commitment, it is important that you are aware of and understand the expectations as a dual credit learner. There are considerations for things such as withdrawing from the dual credit program once you are already registered. And as a dual credit student, you need to be mindful of application and withdrawal deadlines, as well as timelines throughout your dual credit program for exams, homework, and assignments. Participating in a dual credit offering is a great way to begin the transition into becoming a post-secondary learner. But with that comes an expectation that you are keeping up with the coursework and keeping yourself organized for important dates and deadlines. Your SAIT instructor may request that you use email as the primary mode of communication, and you will need to check Brightspace, formerly called D2L, for course information and content. As a SAIT student, you will be granted access to a SAIT Brightspace account, which will be separate from any account access you may currently have at your high school. It will be up to you to check both your email and SAIT Brightspace on a regular basis. It is also important that you feel comfortable and are willing to connect with your SAIT instructor and school board contact on a regular basis. If you have questions or concerns, we want you to reach out as soon as they come up. There is lots of support for you as a learner in dual credit programs, but your SAIT instructor and school board contact need to hear from you if you are having any questions or concerns. As a learner, if you do require any accommodations, you will have access to SAIT's accessibility services. However, the SAIT Dual Credit Coordinator needs to be made aware of any required accommodations prior to your dual credit program commencing. There is no impact on the selection of students into a dual credit program based on required accommodations. We just want to be aware of any needed accommodations so that we can help support all learners in the dual credit offerings. As part of supporting students in the dual credit offerings, we provide a student orientation at the beginning of each program intake. You will also have access to a dual credit student handbook. You can also find further information on the dual credit web pages on SAIT.ca. Finally, it is important for you to understand that participating in a dual credit offering is a way to supplement your high school learning. Dual credit options are not meant to replace your continuation of your high school studies, nor does it replace your attendance or participation in high school. With all that in mind, let's talk about the application process for a dual credit offering. Each school board partner is responsible for selecting students for the dual credit offerings. School board personnel know their students best and will be able to help determine which students will be a good fit for each dual credit option. Each school board has their own application process, requirements, and timelines, so be sure to check with your individual school board contact for specific details. Once you have been selected into a dual credit offering, you will need to complete a SAIT registration form through Apply Alberta. You will be given information about how to complete this online process once you have been selected into your dual credit option. It is important to note that the online portal for dual credit registration is only open during a very specific time frame, typically a 2-week period in late May or early June, for programs that are scheduled to begin in September of the upcoming academic year. It is critical that you complete your SAIT registration during this time frame. Specific information about registering during this time period will be provided once you have been selected into your dual credit option. For next steps, please connect with your school board contact for your specific dual credit application. You can visit the dual credit pages on SAIT.ca to find out further details about dual credit offerings at SAIT, or you can email dual.credit@sait.ca if you have further SAIT-related questions. Alternatively, please connect with your school board contact and they can assist you. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to welcoming you as a future dual credit student.